Alright, excuse my shakiness here. I'm going to go handheld. And I got some mirrors because I broke off one of my mirrors. So I decided to try something different rather than the ones I had on here. I had the half knee mirrors on here, and they were okay, but I wasn't like super happy with them. So I got these. So these they still kind of fit the style of the bike. They're kind of angular, and they kind of got that stealth fighter look to it that I keep trying to emulate. But the big thing is the sight glasses. Let's see if I can show you here. Much better field of view. They come out just a little bit farther. The old mirrors probably came out to about here or so. So these stick out a little bit further. I actually, after using them a couple of days now, I almost wish they came out even further yet. Now I could maybe get another inch outboard if I swap the position between the brake lever and the mirror. And I got enough length on the brake lever that I could do that, and I may try that. And the same thing on this side. If I swapped, put the mirror inboard and the brake lever on the outboard side, I would still have enough brake lever to grab. But all in all, I like these new mirrors a little bit better. I got them on Amazon. I'll try to leave a link for them if I can find it. And these are a true motorcycle mirror. These are much thicker. The arms are much thicker. They don't move. They don't come out of adjustment. And I really like that about it. They're a little more heavy duty. So I'm going to say that I like these better than the half knee mirrors that I had on here. Okay, so the next thing is you see these dates on here? This is 9/5 and 9/30. So I ordered a shock for the bike on September 5th, and I got it on September 30th, and it actually came earlier than they said that it was going to come. Now this came from China. I ordered it on Amazon and it came from China. So I'm going to open it up here and show you what I got. Alright, let's see if I can get this opened up without too much trouble here. So what I did here is I ordered a complete shock. All I wanted this for, oh, looks like it's been opened. Huh. Maybe that was because I went through customs or something. All I wanted this for, and we'll see if this is going to work or not. It might be too small. I don't know. It wasn't real expensive, so I figured I'd give it a whirl. So what you're looking at here, this is why I bought it. I bought it because it says right there, I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not, 550 pounds. So that's half the rating of the stock spring that was on the bike. So let's go over and take a look at the bike. This spring looks like it might be too small. I might have taken a gamble and failed. Hold on a second here. Alright, let's see what we got here. I'm going to go around to the back side and see if this is going to work or not. I don't know. The length is right, but the outside and the inside diameter is what concerns me. So I've already got this backed off really far. So what I'm doing is I'm loosening up the preload adjustment for the spring. See if I can get an idea on whether this is going to work or not. Okay, so the reason that I want to use just the spring and not the shock is on this one, on the one that I purchased, it doesn't have any adjustment for rebound. The only thing that you have is the preload adjustment on the spring itself. Whereas the stock shock, it has a rebound adjustment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this apart. Oops, I already did. I'm going to take this apart. See if I can get this spring off of here, because that's all I want to change. Alright. I don't think I'm going to need any of this hardware, but I'm going to hang on to it just in case. All I want is the spring. And the reason that I don't want to use the shock is, look at this, does nothing. All this is this is just a holder for the spring. And once I get the shock off on the bike here, I'll show you what the rebound adjustment does. See, a lot of people don't fiddle around with that at all, and they don't really know what it's going to do. So this just centers the spring. So I'll hang on to this for a minute. I don't know if I'm going to need it or not. I might be able to use it. I don't know. I might use the one that's on the bike. We'll see which one works out. I'm going to pause for a minute here and get these screws that are on here, the mounting screws for the stock shock, loosened up. Alright, I think I lowered this camera down a little bit so you get a better view. Okay, so what you got here to loosen up these screws is you got Allen head here and Allen head here, and you're going to need two. So I got one 5mm just to hold it in place, and then I'm going to try to break it loose from the other side. I don't know which side actually has the screw. One of these passes all the way through, and I'm not sure which one's which. Alright, so there it is. That one's broke loose. Okay, the screw is on this side. Let's see if I can get the top one now. There we go. That one broke loose. Now you can't take this all the way out yet. And the reason is if you do, the bike is going to collapse. The spring is actually holding it up. Okay, there's the screw. Okay, so now the stud is passing all the way through. So I can take these screws out, and the stud passes all the way through, and it'll push out that way. Same thing on the top. Let me get my little magnetic tray here and put my screws in here so I don't lose them. Now here's the big question. How am I going to hold this bike up so that I can get this shock out of here? I'm going to pause the camera. Okay, I think I got a trick here. I think if I lift up on this bike and stick this piece of wood down in here, there we go. I think it'll sit on that, so that now I can take these. Might have to get a punch and drive those out. Okay, got a little brass punch here, so I don't mushroom out this screw. Doesn't take much. That one's almost out. Oh, that one popped right out. So hopefully, yeah, get these screws out. There we go, and the shock falls right out. And this board is holding it in place so it doesn't collapse on the suspension. I got one long screw here and one short one. So, which one's which? The long one goes to the bottom and the short one goes to the top. Okay, so there's our shock. Let me bring you over here to this table. And I'll see if, well, it's not really a table, it's just this box. It's got a piece of plywood sitting on top of it. But I might be able to show you what I'm doing here. Okay, so let's take this shock apart. Back the preload adjuster all the way off. Oh, I gotta pull these rubber grommets off here. Ow. Alright, there we go. Okay, so here's, basically this is the same thing. Look at this shock body. Now the reason that I want to keep this versus the old one is because if I compress this, you see how it's hydraulic. Okay, so what this is there's an S and an F. And originally what I thought that meant was slow, or what I thought it meant was soft and firm. So I had it backed all the way off to slow, and what that, or to soft, and what that really means is slow. So when you compress it, look at how slow it comes out. You see that? See how it's still coming out. Actually, it would take the spring to get it to come out. So let's go the other way. See, now it's moving a little faster. So basically what you want to do is you want to kind of try to pick a midpoint. And the spring is going to actually, it needs the spring to come all the way out. So let's see if we can get this new spring on. So what's the difference? Well, the height's pretty close. It's about the same. A little bit taller on this spring than this one. But you can see the difference in the size, the thickness of the coil. This is a 1,000-pound coil, and this is a 550-pound coil. So now, will this fit on here? Oh, beautiful. Fits perfect. Don't even need this piece that came with the old shock. And so now I can get this adjuster back on here. Now I kind of got this spring on upside down. It doesn't really matter, but the only reason I'm saying I put it on upside down is because the writing on it is upside down. So let's turn it around. And now it says 550 pounds. This is the way it's going to go back on the bike. And we'll get the preload adjuster back on. Now this should really soften up the ride on this bike a great deal. Now once I get it on and get it back on, I can tighten this down a little bit if need be to firm it up a little bit. So I'm going to put the bushing back in and then a little plastic rubber adjusters there. But look at the difference in the size of the coils on that spring. Can you see? There's quite a difference there. Okay, so the whole point of this was I'm just trying to soften up the ride. I always said I liked the way that the shock itself works. I like the compression and or excuse me, I like the rebound adjustment on it and the way that works. It's just that the other spring was way too stiff. So let's come back over here now and we'll see if I can show you how I'm going to put this back on. So I'm going to grab my bolts, excuse me, the long bolts. Here's our shock. Go back in, and have a short screw to the top. I have to wiggle it a little bit to get it to go in. There we go. Do the same thing on the bottom. Kind of going by feel here. There we go, it's in. I can take this board out now. Not quite all the way through. I'll give it a little tap. Come on, baby. Why is it not going? Let's take a look. Okay, gotta get my fat head of the camera. There we go, let's try that. Wasn't quite lined up. There we go. Now it's all the way in. Alright. Next thing, put the two screws back in. Just got to be snug. They don't have to be super tight. It's like everything else on the bike. A lot of people have a tendency to over tighten things, and then yeah, you want it tight, but you don't want it to where it's hard to get off or where it's going to strip the screw out. There's already Loctite applied to the screw, so alright, so there we go. Shock is in. Now I can adjust the preload on here a little bit by tightening this ring. Now I'm just going to snug it up a little bit. I'm not going to go super tight with it. And then I'm going to take it for a test ride and see what it does. Alright, put you on pause here for a minute. Okay, so after a brief test ride up and down the road, and I aimed for every crack in the road and every bump that I could just to get a feel for it, it's night and day different. It's amazing what a difference that made. And it wasn't It wasn't a big expense. I think I spent, there goes my phone. I think I spent a total of $50 on this shock, and the only reason I wanted it was for the spring. So now, my Aero Rider X-Class rides like it should. And I think I got this, I'll play around with this a little bit more. I think I've got this rebound set somewhere in the middle. Let's see here. Okay, that'll put it right in the middle, and then I can fine tune it from there. But you know, I got the preload on the spring adjusted just enough to tighten it, you know, to where it's not rattling around. But wow, what a difference it made on the ride quality. Yeah, I can definitely feel a difference in it. It's not pounding me like it used to. So that's awesome. So here's what the alert on my phone was, and it said text message. It was a delivery from the mail, U.S. Postal Service. And so this will be another video here. Let me see if I can put this on the tripod, and I'll see if I can show you what this is all about. And so the reason I'm giving you a little sneak preview on this is because it kind of all ties in with the shock and the ride quality. And what this is a seat. But it's not what you might think it's going to be. This is a bone stock Aero Rider X-Class seat, and I got this off of eBay. And the reason that I got it was because I'm going to do my own upholstery on it. Now this guy that I bought it from, he probably got a long seat, and he took this off and he put the long seat on. I'm going to keep the short seat, but I want to play around with the upholstery a little bit. Wow, this one feels softer than mine. It feels a little bit softer. I don't know if they changed that or not. So anyway, so what my plan is to use one of these seats. I'll probably use the one that's on there, and I'm going to remove all the staples, and I'm going to pull the covering off, and I'm going to shave a little bit of foam off the bottom of this thing, and I'm going to layer on about an inch of gel on the top, and then my girlfriend is going to restitch me a new cover for it. She sews. She's got all kinds of sewing machines, and she's going to make me something kind of cool to go on it. So this will be another video. This probably won't happen until the winter time, because I'm not going to take the bike out of service or anything like that. So, but yeah, this all kind of ties together. If you remember in my 1,000-mile review, I was saying that well, the seat's not real comfortable after a long time. It gets pretty hard, and part of that was, you know, the shock spring. You got two things going against you. The shock spring has a firm ride, and the seat was kind of firm, and so this is kind of a two-step process to kind of improve the ride on the bike a little bit. I lightened up the spring by a half. I went from 1,000 pound to a 500 pound, and then the next thing is going to be make my own custom seat. All right. So this one, you can see here. Well, I don't know if you can see it or not. It got kind of scratched up because when the box is on my bike, when my top case is on the bike, it's pretty hard for me to get my leg over it, and so my boot drags across it. Whereas now the top box isn't on it, I can just, you know, it's easy. I'll tell you, I really like this. The shock, I can feel the difference in it. So, well, anyway, that's it for today. Excuse my sniffles again. If you like my videos and some of the little tricks that I've been doing and upgrades and working on the bike and kind of share my build of my bike here, if you like what I'm doing, like and subscribe, comment, ask questions, share your thoughts. I love all of it, good or bad. You know, I'm open to all comments. So that's all I got for today, and I'll catch you on the next one.